Hey everyone, I'm here. Hope you're having a great day and welcome back to Scraping Through. In this episode, we're being a bit nostalgic, remembering those times when we were able to travel the world, looking at unique destinations around the globe, as well as sharing some of our travel stories. We'd love to hear your travel stories as well, so if you have any that you would like to share, send us a DM on Instagram at Scraping Through Podcast and let us know in which crazy adventures you got yourself into. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. All right. How's it going, man? What's up with Mike's word? What's new?
I just saw that COVID cases are going crazy. So Birmingham's going to be in lockdown from Tuesday.
Do you really have to bump the mood like that? Like it's Friday, we want to have a good time.
I didn't start recording already.
We just
I would have started with a happy topic if I knew we were recording.
yeah, but you gotta be
The
ready.
sun is out. It's a beautiful day. I love Friday. It's amazing. And it's the weekend ahead. What?
Yes, and 2020 is perfect, man.
2020 is amazing, man. Like, what a year. What a year. A year of years.
Amazing. Absolutely
Amazing.
amazing. Right. So, first of all, our Instagram is popping off. We have, let me double check.
As Conor McGregor replied.
Yeah, I saw that, right? He wants an interview, I think. We have 51 million subscribers. I think we're just behind, who's that? Cristiano Ronaldo?
I'm disappointed it's taken this long to get there, man.
I know,
I blame our marketing department.
it's a bit, yeah, I need to talk to those guys. But we have a few sponsorship deals coming in. I had to cancel some of them. It's.
Who are you sponsored by? I already signed my sponsorship deal.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm in conversations with Domino's Pizza, but they're just, yeah, not up to my standards of pizza. So I told them no.
Oh,
Actually, Domino's, if you're listening, we would.
you're gonna do them like that on the podcast? What?
Right.
After all they've done in the world of garlic and herb sauce, you're just gonna lay it down like that?
Sure.
Oh man, I apologize on behalf of Emiliano to Domino's Pizza.
Yeah,
My sponsor, by the way. Thank you, Domino's.
that dip is a bit insane, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna evaluate our options right now in terms of sponsor. Do you have
Of which we have many.
Yeah, too many, I think.
Just every day. Like every day is a new one.
In fact, you know what? One of the sponsors asked us if we would like to travel, and they ask us where we want to go. So actually, let me ask you a question. Let's say we are in a world without a pandemic and you have a ticket to anywhere in the world. Where are you going?
A world without a pandemic. What's that like, man?
I
I
know.
can't even remember what that's like. I can't even think about where I would travel outside of my own front door at the moment, let alone the world. If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I'd really love to go to South America. I think it's one of the only continents that I haven't been to outside of Antarctica, of course. So like going to Peru and Argentina and Brazil would be amazing. Peru specifically because of the Inca Trail. I don't know if you've heard of the Inca Trail.
Well, you know what's and we haven't planned this at all. But
Yeah,
I actually have in front of me a list of places that are the most highly rated to go. And I was thinking exactly the same. I've never been to South America, and Let me pull it up on the
There
screen.
we go. Future episode of the podcast. We'll broadcast it out of somewhere in South America. We did our mini holiday. So we've done a mini holiday. We tested it out. We can live with each other for about 3 days before we get a bit tense and antsy at each other. So if we can get a 3-day trip to Peru or Brazil or something, that's where we should go.
We didn't record an episode whilst we were in the Cotswold, though. We should have done it.
No. Yeah, that would have been a good one too, actually, because we could have covered our mini Olympics, which
True.
I won, I think.
I I feel like I disagree. Actually, I strongly disagree. But
Oof.
let's take that for another time because I feel like I want to I want to look at this ideal destinations like
Okay. You're about to make me want to go to Peru even more because I haven't seen this
look at
in my
it.
planning for that trip. So
This looks like Pokemon, but you don't know
insane.
Pokemon, so I don't know how
You're
to.
just gonna out me like that, like I'm not one of the cool kids.
Yeah, I feel
Hey
like
everyone,
people
Michael doesn't know Pokemon.
will
Thanks,
just people will tune out now because like yeah,
man.
yeah,
Oh man, we're canceled right now already. Thanks.
exactly.
Prize for the first "Hey Boomer" comment that we get.
The you got don't drag me into that. I'm definitely not a boomer.
Hey, we go down. We go down together, man.
All right, is that so?
Okay, so I'm
So
seeing a lot of stuff scrolling past really fast. What are we looking at?
I don't know. Like I'm looking. So first of all, I'm just to give recognition. Rough guides. We're looking at 20 seriously weird places around the world. And you
Okay.
mentioned Peru, so one of these is
I'm seeing a whole bunch of colors, man, that I would never expect to see in the wild, right? Like they look so fake. Like I've seen pink pools and with
orange.
like
Yeah.
yeah, here, what's that, man? What's
So this is Lake Hillier, Western Australia, and it's a
wow.
pink lake. Is it?
You know why is it pink? High
Uh, uh,
salinity combined with salt-loving algae. Ah, right on.
that's really pink, like really, really pink, and it's just next to. Would it be this the ocean? Yeah, well, it's in Australia, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can actually go in it or whether it's not really safe to do so. I have to
Let
find
me
that out.
find. Um,
They haven't tested it on a dolphin, have they?
hopefully not. That's I opened a link to Western Australia. It's just dead generic.
Yeah,
But
that might not have been a happy story either. You just see the transition of a dolphin to a dead dolphin in pink water.
no, come on.
I'm so negative today, huh?
I don't know what's wrong with you, man. You should be positive, you know. We did a workout earlier. You should be pumped and super energetic.
I feel
Uh,
like that workout stole all of my positive feelings. Like I was so happy before the workout, and then I went through it and I realized, wow,
don't
this is
say
what
that.
misery feels like.
No, I'm feeling great. I'm sure. I'm actually quite tired to be honest, but I wouldn't be too tired to catch a flight to Peru as just like you, I've never been to South America and
Is there any other continent you haven't been to? Have you been to Africa?
no, I've never been to well, have I? No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever been to Africa. I've been to Northern America a bunch and Europe. I've been to many places and recently the past 2 years in Asia mostly, which is still my number one kind of destination. Generally in Asia, I feel like Southeast Asia, I really want to explore more. I had in plans to go back to Japan this year, perhaps going to Singapore and Vietnam. So I feel like, yeah, Asia is still top of my list for now.
Nice.
Mm.
Well, if people are listening and you have recommendations on places that we should go and visit and check out in a non-COVID world, drop us a comment. Let us know. We would love to explore some of the lesser known places that you might think of.
Absolutely. And we mentioned our super famous Instagram now, but it's actually at Scraping Through Podcast. It's not like we need more followers because we have 51 million, but if you want to follow us at Scraping Through Podcast, that's where the fun is.
Awesome. Wow, Bermuda Triangle. Well, I grew up with all like the myths around there. I used to be terrified of traveling because of this. Like anytime anyone would talk about flying, I would always go and check and see like does it fly over the Bermuda Triangle? Because I'd always be scared that people would just disappear. So I used to really buy into that myth.
I feel like this was a thing in the 90s and then people forgot about it. I feel like
Yeah.
I remember clearly this being part of like movies and TV series or cartoons, and then just I haven't heard about it for so long. But
No one talks about it anymore. Like it's gone. I don't want to make this a conspiracy theorist podcast, but why doesn't anyone talk about the Bermuda Triangle anymore? What's going on there? Where's the cover up? Oh, they've made it into a resort. That's why.
yeah,
That's why it's not controversial anymore. Everyone goes there and everyone comes back.
no,
It's not.
funnily enough, I've recently heard about Bermuda because on Instagram I got a sponsored post about working from Bermuda. So Bermuda Island is actually promoting,
Because of the podcast.
yes, because of our podcast, is actually promoting, their place to be a better working location than our apartments in crowded cities. So Bermuda
They're
is
trying to
actually,
rebuild their reputation, aren't they? Like they had this like bad rep for a long time of people disappearing, planes vanishing. Now they're like the Skoda of cars, like where Skoda is suddenly like a really nice car to have. Whereas in the 90s it was like a joke of a car make. Now it's like Bermuda is trying to build its rep the same way, like, hey, we're actually really cool. We're the hipster country to go to.
I mean, they're succeeding based on
That's
these
really
TikToks.
good, to be fair.
Yeah. So that they're all yeah, their whole campaign is about, since you're working from home, why would you work from your apartment in your crowded city? Just apply for a work visa, 12 months, come here, work and code. They say code from the beach. Um, so yeah, I feel like this could be the next trip. Look at this. Get your certificate to work from Bermuda. Let's apply. The problem is, here is Prime Minister, I guess. Yeah.
MP. Oh, Premier of Bermuda. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's it. And you apply to work from there, and I feel like you have like a fee to pay. And this is not limited to, it's not only Bermuda doing this. I feel like Barbados as well is doing it.
Sponsored by the tourism board.
Yes,
Bermuda.
exactly. I feel like this is so smart, I feel like with this working from home, especially for well, our jobs, I feel like we're lucky because um, we can do it from everywhere pretty much. We would be tied to a time zone, I would say, but ideally we could just I could just move without saying anything and no one would ever know, right?
True. Unless they listen to this podcast, which
True.
51 million people obviously now know your plan. So that they'll be watching out for your background.
I guess I need to stop promoting it internally in the office. At some point.
Funny you mentioned that. Someone in our office told me that they spent some time listening to our podcast, and they had to stop because it sounded just like one of our work calls. Because
No way.
we just talk a lot of crap on our work call, just like we do here. So they were listening to it on a weekend, and it was like too much like work. So yeah, I feel a bit bad.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so I guess are we that? Maybe it's either two things. We are either that boring in work calls, as in our podcast, or we're just that entertaining, and it still sounds the same in meetings and podcasts. I think the latter. It's
I'm
probably
sure it's the latter, man. I'm gonna believe that's the case, regardless of the truth.
yeah.
Whoa.
And have you been to Africa? Because you asked me, but have you been to Africa?
Yeah, well, briefly, I went to Egypt for twice, a couple of days at a time, for work. So I didn't get to see a whole bunch of Egypt, but I can say I've been to Africa because I've been to one city in one country in the whole continent. So there's obviously like much more to explore, but Egypt was amazing.
Mm.
It was a stunning place, and people were amazing as well. Um, yeah, I'd love to go back. I want to go to Morocco and Tunisia. Like I know someone that went to Morocco, and they have pictures on their wall of their trip, and they have pictures of jungle, of desert, of towns. Like you can pretty much have any vacation you want in Morocco. Obviously, apart from maybe a mountain one, just because they have like a lot of different terrain within that country, and just looks lush, man. It looks like you can do so many activities there.
Mm. I've always been told like this. Africa is immense, right? There's a lot of graphs you can find that shows you how actually big it is. There's a lot of memes around that as well, but it is huge. It's a very diverse continent, and if you just think about comparing North and South Africa, and South Africa actually as a place, I've been told completely different stories, and I feel like I would love to try both the Africa um, that it's more known for safaris, right? And actually, I believe it's more related to the picture that we're seeing here, um, and
Which is stunning, by the way. That is
amazing.
like so beautiful.
Yeah,
I saw a funny video. It wasn't supposed to be funny. I just thought it was interesting. The like the world map as you probably know it, right? Greenland looks massive, right?
right.
I don't know if you want to bring it up. Like
Yeah,
you'll be able to see like how big is Greenland relative to Africa, really. So when you see it on a world map, look how massive that is. You'd think that it's almost as big as the States, and it's relatively large in comparison to Africa.
yeah,
But apparently that is a stretched version of Greenland. And if you Google like the real size of Greenland versus Africa,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you will see like a much different overlay of how much land space that actually takes. Like, and I don't quite know why. I'm sure that video would have explained it, but I find that
Well, it's probably, well, it always comes down to is it topography? The
if you go back to your search, I think there was a drop down like why does Greenland look so big?
is it
So if you do like yeah, so go back to the Google search.
this one? Yeah.
See where people also ask why does Greenland look so big? Yeah.
It is impossible to project a roughly spherical Earth onto a flat map without significant distortion. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, so it comes down to, again, is it topography, the
Probably, but if you just search for Greenland versus Africa, for example, size, like I'm pretty sure you'll see what the overlay really is, and it's just like phenomenally different to what it looks like on the map. I don't want to bore people with a geography lesson on this, but
no, but I
that
feel
was an
like,
interesting thing.
yeah. And I wanted to make sure that that was a word because apparently I like to make up words. So I'm very self-conscious now of what I say. But
Yeah, so you're referring to adrenaline there.
yeah, our favorite new word.
It should be a word. I will vouch for it. Like I think we can start a movement. 51 million followers. Let's get adrenaline in the dictionary, huh?
Yeah, I'll start a petition. In the meantime, it's crazy to look at the area compared. So Greenland is actually 2.1 million square kilometer. Africa is 30 million. So it's
It's
15
nuts, right?
times.
So it's like
Yeah,
15 times bigger.
yeah. But
And
on the map, it looks like
it looks almost
they're
the same.
just as big. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Fun fact for you, Greenland is not that big.
Wow. Also, why is it Greenland called Greenland and not Iceland? And why is Iceland not called Greenland? I feel like that's the debate
There we
um,
go.
to settle. But
That's a whole other podcast we could make.
as soon as we keep scrolling through these amazing places around the world, South Africa seems to be
Well, that's South America. That's Chile,
sorry,
right?
South America, yeah, to be so predominant. We've seen Peru, we've seen Chile. I think there's a couple other places. But yeah, Chile is another place where I'd definitely love to go. What is
Shout
the,
out to Philippines just below that. So the next one down is the Chocolate Hills in Bohol.
do you know
So
about it?
shout out to, yeah, I've been there.
No way.
So yeah, the first time that I went away with my wife,
Right.
when we met for the first time, we went to Bohol. She was doing a triathlon event there, and I had no idea what I was getting into because I was just excited to travel the country. But yeah, these are kind of naturally formed sets of hills that turn brown at certain times of the year.
Hmm,
So they get called the Chocolate Hills, and they're on an island in the Philippines, and
that's amazing.
um, they look really weird. Like they look like people have just deposited like masses of earth in these areas, but they're completely natural. So I can't remember what forms them, but it's a very interesting place to see.
Chocolate. Just
Okay. Hills, yeah, because they're brown sometimes.
did you buy into it? It tastes good.
Meaning, oh, did I bite into it? Yeah, man, I tried. I wouldn't advise it. Like,
Mm,
don't try and eat them. They're not as chocolatey as they proclaim to be, but they're certainly very pretty.
that's really cool. China, never been to China actually. And this is the Red Beach in Panjin. This looks amazing.
Oh, before we move on from Bohol, man, you should Google Tajir monkey,
Okay.
just because they
Uh,
deserve to be shown on the podcast. So I think it's Tazier. And just in case I got
like
that wrong, put monkey
TZ?
after IER.
No, I didn't spell right.
Put monkey at the end. You'll probably find it. It'll probably autocorrect it for you.
Monkey.
Yeah, Tarzia. There you go.
Oh,
Tarzia monkey.
that's there. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look at those, man.
What is
How
this?
crazy are those things? Just the eyes, man. Like we saw those. They don't move very often. They kind of stay in one spot for a long time because they just eat these leaves that give them like barely any energy. So they're similar to koalas in that way. But
Looks like a rat. It's
yeah,
so
man, they're
ugly.
tiny. They're really weird.
Mm.
But they're native to Bohol. So it's another reason to go visit. Go meet some very friendly, sometimes quite elusive, and yeah, uniquely they're very unique as you look at them.
Yeah, they're really cute at the same time as scary because I feel like if I find it in front of me, I'll just
Well,
crap
to
out
be
of it.
fair, they're not gonna just pop out because they don't move fast at all. Like
Mm.
they're so slow. it's like a sloth. But yeah, I guess if you turn around and one was just hanging in a tree next to you,
Oh, it's not big. Oh, okay.
oh, tiny, tiny.
I see, I see.
Is
That's
that you?
cool.
It looks like you.
Oh, wow. That's a nice tattoo. This tattoo is on your arm. Okay. I feel like hey, I feel like TikTok is too much part of my life right now. I need a detox. I can't like quoting.
Why do you say that?
I don't know, man. Well, it's funny that we talk about TikTok and we're looking at China as next destination. But I feel like I just I love TikTok. I think it's just hilarious. There's uh so many funny people, content creators. Content creator is such a broad term. I love it, but it's crazy, man. Like this, we've seen this puppet Gizmo, and I keep just quoting it. Is so funny. But yeah,
You have to
sorry.
show it now. If you mentioned it, I think you have to put it up. So I'll give you an excuse to flash it.
I feel like it's not really safe for. It's not safe to show. No, it is safe to show.
Well, that's it. What kind of podcast are we? Are we there for everyone? Are we PG-13? Are we adults only?
We should probably
This
check
is
with our sponsors first and ask.
okay, Domino's might back out if we show something
Yeah.
too lurid. I don't know about the Bahamas or Bermuda. I feel like I have a
Oh,
crazy personal trip to talk about. So yeah, I think the one that comes to mind to me is one of my first travels. I was young and stupid, so at the time like Ryanair was like a new thing and EasyJet was a new thing. So like low cost air travel was just blowing my mind. But I had no inspiration of where to go. So I went onto, I think, Ryanair's website. And they had like on their front page just lists of cities where they go and prices for the tickets and stuff. So I closed my eyes and I just wiggle my finger around and I pick a random a city to go to. And I told you this story before, but I think it's worth telling here.
yeah.
Um, and so it landed on Wrocław, which is quite a fairly industrial town in Poland. So I'm guessing the reason that there's flights there and back is for people kind of working here and then going back to their families every so often. So I was like, okay, like I'm committed. You know, the rule of the finger. If your finger lands on something, you have to go. You don't get to repick. So, and I saw pictures of it. It has, I think, something like the second largest town square in Europe. So I was like, there's something about this place to check out. I should go. Um, so yeah, I went on my own and I took a week off work to go there. And my first, yeah, you can actually you can Google it and show people what it looks like. It's spelled Wroclaw, so Wroclaw. Uh, but anyway, so I got on the flight and I had no idea really what to expect when I landed. I did no research as you probably would do if you're going to a new place of where the airport is and where the hotel is and stuff like that. So it was pretty dumb. But when I landed, my first impressions of Poland were kind of police storming onto the plane, and there was like a whole commotion. But everyone on the plane is Polish, as far as I could tell, because like no one seemed to be speaking English. And they marched a guy off the plane, and he was giving everyone the finger as he was walking off, and people
That,
are like cheering and they're like talking to each other in Polish about what's happening, and I have no clue to this day why this guy was removed from the plane and in by armed police in the end. So it
mm.
must be something quite serious. So that was my first impression, my first experience of Poland. Um, and I landed in at nighttime, so it's like pitch black dark. I went out and I was looking for like taxis or buses into town, but it looked like I landed too late to catch a bus. There was no
As
mass
you do.
taxi. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is what it looks like, man. Actually, it actually is a really pretty town.
Really,
So,
yeah, it looks really nice.
um, yeah, yeah. That's the town square, so you can see how big it is.
How is
And
this
that's
the second largest in Europe? I call BS. Like,
quite big, man.
how can it be? Like,
Well, the funny thing is like that, like before social networks were a thing and the internet was a thing, like this is where people went to socialize. They go to these town squares. There's no cars or anything. You're
that's the
just,
second okay boomer that you get in this episode.
oh man. So that wasn't my last experience of that night. So I yeah, I couldn't find any marked taxis or anything, so just like random cars waiting in to pick people up. So I was a bit freaked out. And I was just waiting at the airport for someone speaking English to come through, and thankfully there was this guy with an England shirt, and he was with a group of girls, and I went up to him and I asked him like, is he going into town? And thankfully he was. So they gave me a ride over there, and they dropped me off like down the road from the airport. Again, completely pitch black. I'm like looking around for this hostel I'm supposed to stay in, and I find it, and it's through like an alleyway, which again is dark, and up another dark rickety staircase. I had just watched Hostel for the first time, so again, this might be a boomer movie. Like I don't know how popular Hostel is in culture nowadays, but essentially it's really a torture movie of people that travel around Eastern Europe. So they get kidnapped and they get tortured in various ways, and it's really gruesome and horrible. But that was fresh in my mind, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to go up these stairs and I'm going to die. But you know, I make my way up there because I have nowhere else to go. And I knock on the door to the hostel because for whatever reason the door is closed. And like they have one of those eye slat things where you kind of pull it across and you can just see
Yeah.
someone's eye. And it was the least welcome I've ever been anywhere in my life. So they're like, who are you? What do you want? Why are you here? And I say like, hey, I'm here to stay. Like I have a booking. And like after a while they open the door, and inside the hostel was really nice. Like it was super
Yeah.
colorful. There was lots of people there. People were friendly. But everyone seemed like quite nervous. So I was
Mm.
like what's going on? And they're like, so like they're really sorry about the experience. But apparently 10 minutes before I arrived, someone was held up at gunpoint and mugged on that staircase that I'd just come up. And I was thinking, my God, man, if I had found a bus or a taxi or something at the airport, I probably would have been there
Yeah.
at the time that there's a guy waiting to mug someone on the staircase. And I was just like, wow. Like, so my first experience of Poland and Wrocław was someone getting marched off a plane by armed police, someone getting mugged on a staircase in a pitch black that looks something like out of the movie of Hostel, and like completely dodgy hostel entrance that I was going in.
Hey,
Um,
you told me this story, and my first reaction was, if that happened to me, I would have just turned around, went to the airport, and took the first flight out. Like, but
Probably
you
this
stayed,
would have been
right?
the safe thing to do. But
Yeah.
honestly, after that experience, everything from my personal experience in Poland was amazing. I would recommend anyone go there any day of the week. Like um, the place is beautiful. There was so much to see. We ended up I met like another group of people that were backpacking around. So we went to Krakow, and then we actually jumped the border over to Hungary and went to Budapest. And the whole trip was phenomenal. Just that first night that was crazy. But I did hear of one of the friends of the people I was traveling with also got mugged in Poland on a train platform. So they fell asleep waiting for a train. They had the camera and stuff on them, and when they woke up, all their gear was gone. So someone's just taken it, and they felt like a warm feeling in their trouser pocket. So they go inside and they try and find out what's in their pocket, and they pull out a panini. So whoever stole their stuff had essentially given them a panini in return. So yeah, they went they went with police looking around for the people that stole their stuff, trying to find folks that might or might not have paninis on them. It's a bizarre story, but yeah, that's probably the most friendly burglaring I've ever heard of. It's quite considerate,
The
not just as
Panini burglar.
yeah,
Yeah,
but to give you some food at least when you wake up. So
that's
yeah,
really nice.
that's my story. That's
Glittering
amazing.
sea glass beach in California.
Oh, it's from rubbish. So it's years of rubbish being dumped there
That
from the
is
passage
crazy.
there. But it looks really pretty.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, unfortunately, California right now is really not in a great state. So I don't even know if they're able to go to the beach at this point in time. But hopefully everyone out there is staying safe.
Yeah, thoughts are with them. We have some colleagues over there, and every now and then we jump on a video call, and you see the background is just complete haze from the smoke, and it looks like something from like the movie Dune. Again, it's an old movie, so it's for the 30 plus crowd that follows
I've never
us.
seen Dune, but I've definitely heard about it.
I'm glad, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad some of the information
I feel
from
like yeah.
trickles down to you.
I'm close somehow to your generation. Yeah. But I was looking to another place in the U.S. Fly Gazer in Nevada. I've been to Nevada.
Yeah.
Have I? I think so. No,
Obviously, it's very memorable.
I've been to Arizona. There's 50 states. Like, yeah, I've been to
Too
Arizona,
many. Too
Phoenix.
many. What were they thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
Confusing you like that with all of their
Can they
states?
not
How
have
they?
like three? Can they not have like California is the West Coast, Texas is the Midlands, and I don't know, Florida is the
Got to make
East
sure
Coast.
to include Domino's home state. Otherwise, again, they'll pull that sponsorship out.
What is? Do they have a home state, Domino's?
I'm sure they do, but I don't know if it's interesting enough to go and
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, I'm sure we can skip on that, but Nevada is like desert, right? That's why I didn't know if it was Nevada. I've been to Arizona, been to Phoenix, Arizona, and there's a desert there. I actually did. I went on a hot air balloon, completely
Oh,
unrelated, but I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, for the first time, it was early in the morning, and I was so scared, man. I'm really scared of heights, but I've always tried to kind of fight this fear for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, it was great. You wait for. Have you ever done hot air ballooning?
I have. I
Yeah.
have.
I don't know if you say
I think
doing hot air ballooning, but
flying a hot air balloon. I don't know.
I would.
I took Caroline there to a hot air balloon in the Philippines for
Like,
Valentine's Day.
aw, so
And yeah,
romantic.
I know, right? You imagine it. Like
Yeah.
in your mind, I bet you're picturing me and Caroline in a hot air balloon floating above the sky, like standing next to each other, holding hands, hugging, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Absolutely not. Like we arrived,
Why?
I think we got there a bit too late.
Yeah.
We were scrambling to find where they were going to launch the hot air balloons from before they take off. We find it just as they're starting to kind of get people into the baskets already, and they split us up. So it turned from romantic
Oh
date
no.
air ballooning. So we were seeing who would get highest and who would get furthest, and yeah, we were blowing kisses from one
Oh.
basket to another. So
Let me
it
ask you
was a lot of
something,
fun.
man. Because I caught on something you said. You said we arrive late, and during our holidays, we arrive late to our activity. Some of one, at least one of our activities, which was surfing.
Yeah.
So I need to understand: is that your thing, arriving late? It's
You know what this podcast is called, right? It's called Scraping Through.
yeah,
This is what I do in life. I scrape through. I just about make it.
just barely make it.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
So So I'm true to our podcast name. That's all I'll say.
I'm always late for stuff as well. I feel
I
like
think it was your fault that time.
was it? I don't know. We were
No, it
eating
wasn't. It wasn't at all.
we're eating tacos, and actually it was the day where we got the cover art finished for the podcast, and we're like super excited.
Super
Um,
excited.
yeah, it
Yeah, the
was a great
surfing
day.
thing was weird. Yeah, if you ever book surfing at the Wave near Bristol, be aware you need to be there an hour before the time that you book. And um,
Public service
public
announcement.
service announcement,
Yeah.
yeah. They don't make that super clear in the booking email. So if
Yeah.
you're, we were lucky actually. We wanted to get there 20 minutes before so we could see how people are using the surf lake because it's an interesting place. You should bring it up. It's thewave.com.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
we
we
posted a
like surfing.
picture of us surfing, right? So
Yeah, you can try and find that too.
yeah,
So it's an interesting place because essentially on waves all year round, and it's an artificial wave pool, but it's massive, like it's huge, and you can surf like beginner waves at the same time people are surfing advanced waves. So it was a lot of fun. Like we had a great time. But yeah, we nearly missed it. Like we thought we were getting there super early. We came 20 minutes before the time we booked, and we very nearly didn't get let in
yeah.
because they're like, you should have been here 40 minutes ago.
Oh,
And
we made it,
yeah,
man. We had a
we made
blast.
it. We made it
That was good. I caught 3 waves. That was insane. I think it was the first
on your
time
first
ever.
go. Yeah,
I'm a natural.
that's
I'm a natural.
immensely
I
good.
feel like I have a few friends from Australia posted on Instagram, and they were like very proud of me. So
Did they mind that you wore a helmet? Did that cheapen your achievement in any way?
I didn't mention that to them, but then I exposed myself on the Scraping Through podcast account because I posted a picture of us with the helmet. And but to be fair, like I'm glad we were because yeah,
Yeah.
I actually I mean I caught 3 waves in an hour, so yeah, there was a lot of falling over and yeah, but it was a lot of
For people
fun.
who haven't surfed, like standing up on your first go is one thing.
Mm.
Catching your own wave and standing up is like something completely different. Like that's a really good achievement. So, congrats on that, man. That was amazing.
I'll take the win. I'll take the win. Well, like we have a last one, a last place that looks so
Japan.
cute. Cat Island in Japan. I've never heard this. I heard about this. Been to Japan a few times,
Is
but
this the answer to Wes Anderson's Dog Island
yeah,
movie?
I've never seen it actually. I love Wes Anderson's movies, but I've
It's
never
so
seen that.
good, man.
Is it?
So funny. Yeah. Me and Caroline love Wes Anderson movies, so we've seen a few of them, and Dog Island was one of our favorites.
I feel like this picture is photoshopped. Like it's the same cat photoshopped. You know what I'm
Just spun
saying? Like
around,
it cannot
so like
be.
by 90 degrees.
Yeah,
Like,
at least these two. You know, like these two. It must be photo. Come on, it's the same. This is
it's
the
flipped
mirrored
over.
image. It must. It actually is. It definitely is, mate. Look at this.
No.
It definitely is. Like, look at the fur. It's the same fur. I assure you, this guy just they just took this, mirrored, and put it here. For
Wow.
sure. For
Because what?
sure.
There's only what 2 or 3 cats on Cat Island, so they wanted to make it look like there's more cats.
Yeah, look, even the mate is the I'm playing, you know that game what's it called?
What the difference?
Memory? Yeah, spot the difference. Literally
Wow.
is the same cat. I can prove it to you as well. I think if like I take a screenshot of it around
Okay.
here.
51 million followers. Someone tell us, is this the same cat or is it a different cat? Like,
It's
because I
definitely the
refuse to
same.
believe that someone went to the effort of photoshopping a cat in. Like, I'm much more willing to believe that that is the cat's twin than someone actually went to the bother of photoshopping it. Like,
Right.
why?
I feel like it is. Wait, so how is this island full of cats? Originally, the cats were encouraged as the island produced silk, and mice are a natural predator of silkworms. I see, because we were saying that there are no dogs allowed. Wow, that's pretty
I'm not
cool.
going.
Mhm.
Family is not allowed. I'm not going.
No,
To be fair,
uh,
she'd get beaten down. She is not a tough dog. I think cats would easily bully her.
right. So if you could let me ask the question I asked at the beginning, but more in the context of what we have seen today. If you could choose one of these places that you haven't been before, because you've seen you've been to one, where would you go?
Good question. I would still go to South America. I think, well, actually, that turkey shot looks amazing, actually. And we didn't even cover it. We didn't talk
No,
about it. But that, I would go here just because that is,
really?
yeah, that's like a whole bunch of, what is it? White. So scroll up again.
Yeah,
White travertine.
yeah. It's
Thermal
fascinating.
pool. Perfect for a quick dip. I'm in.
It's part of UNESCO World Heritage. Hmm.
Actually, Caroline has a close friend in Turkey, so
Really?
have an excuse to go out that way. I would definitely add this to our itinerary.
This looks pretty magnificent.
How
I
about
feel
you?
like
Which place would you go to?
I miss traveling so much, man. Like last year, I think I traveled around like 50% for work, plus I've done personal trips. So I've been on the go so much. Well, realistically, in the last like 4 years, but last year in particular was so travel heavy that just stopping from a day to another this year, I really felt it. So I literally would go everywhere here, one after the other. I miss Canada. I was looking now at the Spotted Lake in British Columbia, which I believe is in the west coast of Canada, British Columbia. I'm not sure actually. Canadian friends are gonna hate me now, but British Columbia. Been to Canada a few times. No, I'm lying. I've only been one time. What I'm saying a few times, I don't know. I'm just a liar.
Selection.
It
Selection.
actually is West Coast. Yes. Yes, because I've been to Seattle, I've been to Washington, and I wanted to go to over to Vancouver, but I didn't make it through. Canada is so massive. So
Huge.
yeah, maybe Canada or that Pink Lake looks insane.
Oh, in
Australia is
Australia.
definitely
Yeah.
somewhere where I want to go. So yeah, man, I feel like today we have explored a few gems of the word. And
Yeah, you've added to my long list of desired travel destinations. I'm hyped, and wow, some of these photos are amazing. So if you're listening and you haven't seen it, check out our YouTube channel. You'll see some really interesting pictures of these locations.
exactly. So Scraping Through podcast on YouTube. That's where you're gonna see the podcast as a video. But I feel like for today we have went through a nice bunch of places and
We've
discover.
traveled without traveling.
Yeah,
We have to see who can we interview from here. Someone that has been to some weird places. We'll have to put some research into that. And if anyone has suggestions around who we should interview around strange places in the world, let us know. Drop us a comment, and yeah, we'll look into it.
you know who I would love to interview from this episode? The Prime Minister of Bermuda. So we can kind of unveil the Bermuda Triangle. Why is it not talked about? And why we should move to Bermuda to work from
Yeah.
there.